He had a poster of her on his wall. That was nothing unusual. She was one of the premier fashion models in all of Equestria. He held no illusions that he was special in how he felt about her. Just a crush, he told himself. It would only ever be just a crush. She lived in a Canterlot after all, and very few ponies of her caliber ever came to Podunk Town like Ponyville. Even fewer fell for Podunk to nobody like him. Stallions born in Ponyville didn't get to be supermodels. He had to try and get out and make something of himself. His dreams of playing saxophone in a smoky club in the capital, strange nights away with jazz, fine wine and cigarettes, had turned out to be the kind of dreams you would wake up from before they were done. The lack of crash and the lack of interest in what he had to offer drove him back to his hometown with his tail between his legs. He only tried Canterlot once, too burned to go back. He tried other places, though. He wasn't quite ready to give up on his dreams back then. Yet the constant rebuffs in the other cities and towns turned his jaded as green as rock, and eventually he pitched up back in his mom's and moved into the attic to lick his wounds and feel sorry for himself. He used to look at the poster of her covering the track cracks on the walls and to talk to her. She stared back at him, cautiously, looking over her shoulder as if to say, things won't always be bad as they seem now. He would lay on his bed and stare at her, wishing he was some pony else, some pony worthy of a mare like her, instead of a podunk nobody from Ponyville. You didn't let growing up poor stop you. She was from some tiny backwater down in France. Like him, she had grown up without two bits to rub together, but had dreamed big and followed those dreams to Canterlot. Unlike him, however, she had found success there. She was the inspiration after so many knockbacks. If I can't play in clubs, I'll play in other places. You started out small, right? He had seen photos of her as a filly modeling foalswear in a Perch mail-order catalog. Her freckles and braids were even emphasis of her own alpine prettiness as an adult. Maybe it didn't work out the way I wanted, but I shouldn't let that stop me. I should keep trying. Just like you did. Keep moving forward. Take few risks. Yeah. So he picked himself up, dusted himself off, and forged out into the world again. He placed ads as many newspapers as he could to afford and played the birthday parties, weddings, and public events in Ponyville, until he saved enough money to buy a wagon and took himself on the road. He played his well-beloved saxophone, but also strummed guitar, saying that could bash out a happy tune on a piano if presented with one. He started giving lessons, renting out his skills to parents eager for their children to learn how to play and sing and read music sheet. He journeyed them to Manhattan to Baltimore, picked up a host's new skills, and trotted home the next winter with enthusiasm in his step, so that he hadn't been there since he first set out for Canterlot so long ago. It was as he was pulling his cart through the farmlands around Ponyville that he caught sight of her. At first he thought he was hallucinating. Maybe that grass he had cropped for lunch had just been covered in weed killer, or something. Or maybe it was more exhausted than he thought. He blinked rapidly, but she still was, stepping through the apple orchard on the other side of the fence he was walking beside. He gaped, his cart came to a stop. He couldn't believe his eyes. He opened his mouth to call out to her, to make her respond and prove she was real. And then the big red stallion he knew owned the farm came trotting up from behind her, saddlebag slung over his sides and picnic blanket bouncing on his broad shoulders. She turned and greeted the stallion with a giggle, planting a kiss on his nose. He couldn't hear what they had said to each other, but the chassid peck quickly became a deeper kiss, and the picnic blanket slid to the ground forgotten. He stared until his embarrassment forced him to look away. They clearly didn't know that they were being watched. Quickly, he trotted off down the track, wishing his cart was less squeaky. Suddenly, it seemed so old, so worn and dirty, that he wanted to buck it into pieces. He hurried down the town and fetched up his mom's house. She opened the door full of smiles until he shuffled past her with no more than a grunted hello. Oh, noteworthy. Didn't work out? Your letters had me believing the things were going so well. They were, he replied, as he climbed the stairs to his tiny attic bedroom. But I forgot something important. What did you forget? Was it your toothbrush? Your health insurance card? No. He slammed the bedroom shut behind him, crawled clothes across the floor, and tore down her poster. He balled it up and tossed it in the trash. He could still see her eyes staring at him, crumpled but visible at the bottom of the wicker basket. He stamped on it, grinding his hoof down on her beautiful face. I just forgot that I'm a podunk, nobody who isn't meant to get the girl at the end. So in your world, everyone is... Fluttershy gulped at her sentence, trailing off into his squeak dogs, would have a trouble hearing. Gay? Sunset had held the packet of frozen peas to her face. Bisexual, but yeah, pretty much. Oh my! Fluttershy wrapped a lock of hair around her fingers, tugging it so tight as a few strands snapped. I'm sorry. I think this is the part where I say that actually, Sunset winced. I knew this world isn't the same as Equestria, but still, it never even occurred to me that people aren't as free-thinking as ponies when it comes to sex. Fluttershy cheeped and hid her face behind a cushion that shaped like a fuzzy red strawberry. Wait, what? You said the S word. What, sex? She cheeped again. Celestia, damn it. Fluttershy, sex is not a dirty word. No, but it's an embarrassing one. I didn't even propose you for sex. Fluttershy did her best to hide her whole body behind the cushion. I only kissed you, and you made it very clear that you weren't interested, even that much. Briefly, Sunset only removed the peas and examined herself in the mirror on Fluttershy's bedroom wall. A large splayed handprint grazed on her cheek. Experimentally, she poked it with a fingertip. Ow! I'm sorry. I know you're sorry, Fluttershy, Sunset sighed. You're always sorry. Slowly, a pair of big blue eyes reappeared from behind the cushion. But I am truly. You caught me unawares. I had no idea you felt like that about me. Who wouldn't? You're cute, funny, and kind and really pretty. And you're just wearing the cushion for a face again. Sorry, damn it. Stop saying sorry all the time, Sunset shouted. The little frilly bedroom fell into an uneasy silence. Sunset swept her hair off of her face. She was sweetly and sore and embarrassed, even though intelligently she knew that there were no reason to be, and just to be very done with all this. I guess I better go home now, she muttered. Sorry for weirding you out. After all, it wasn't a proper day in the human world if she couldn't find some way to screw up, or ostracize herself from people and her non-people ways. Wait! Fluttershy reached out her hand, as if to grab Sunset and prevent her from leaving. Sunset paused, half an inch out of the other girl's reach. What? Look, I'll help you deliver the animal sanctuary flyers tomorrow. I'm just not in the good mood right now. Needed... Fluttershy flushed in crimson. Something inside Sunset stirred. She half turned around. Wanted what? At the continued hesitancy, she pressed. Needed what, Fluttershy? You really like me? Fluttershy whispered. Like that way? Well, sure, why else would I have tried to kiss you? Some pony ritual, maybe? Kissing is kissing, ponies or people. That she much knew from dating Flash. She had learned that boys were just as grabby as colts, and as disappointingly predictable if you didn't make your boundaries clear right from the start. Fluttershy chewed her bottom lip. It was quite adorable. Sunset found herself watching the tiny appearances of teeth as the other girl spoke again. It wasn't horrible, kissing you. It's that supposed to be a compliment? Kissing me isn't horrible, Sunset frowned. No, yes. Fluttershy covered her face with that damn cushion again. I mean, maybe kind of liked it, but I was surprised because you were just a girl, well, sort of, and I'm a girl, and girls don't usually kiss girls, and she then ran out of breath, ending her outburst with a deep gulp of air. Could you, try again, when I'm ready this time? I mean, not catching me by surprise like that. I am really sorry for slapping you, by the way. Sunset paused before turning around fully and plopping down on the beanbag chair next to the low bed. You sure you won't smack me again? I promise. Okay. She then licked her lips and tilted her head. Oh, Fluttershy hesitantly tilted this way and that. She pulled away, shook her head, and then thrusted towards like a brawler about to headbutt on an opponent. Sunset paused. Fluttershy, you've kissed someone before, right? Not as such. So when I planted one on you before, she clarified with a dawning realization. That was your first kiss? Yes. Sunset pressed the flat on her hand against her face, then yelped and let go. No wonder you slapped me. She got up from the chair with some sliding in difficulty. Her skirt rode up and she hiked it down as soon as she attained her feet. Did I do it wrong? Fluttershy asked, horrified. Don't you want to kiss me anymore? Yes, stand up. Huh? Just do it. We're the same height. This makes it easier. Oh, Fluttershy did as she was obeyed. Now what? Close your eyes, tilted your head left, and then part your lips. Like this? Perfect. Gently, Sunset took Fluttershy's face between her hands, and she cupped them in her palms, marveling the softness of the other girl's skin. After one had lived with fur in all their life, skin was still a fascinating skin. She brought it to her own face close and softly brushed her lips together. It was the gentlest approximation of a kiss that she would manage, far removed from the snap decision of one less than an hour ago. Fluttershy seemed to sigh into her own mouth, as if the kiss wasn't so bad as she had been expecting. Gradually, Sunset pressed her lips together, allowing Fluttershy to get used to the feeling of someone else's mouth on hers, before she started to move her lips. Eventually they parted. Fluttershy's eyes had taken on a dopey light. Sunset remarked, We could count that as your first real kiss instead. Fluttershy blinked. I think I like kissing you. Oh, really? Sunset's eyebrow bounced upwards. Uh-huh. Could we do that again? Sunset grinned and cupped Fluttershy's chin with her palms. My pleasure. Golden Harvest toed the soil and frowned. I'll never be able to grow anything in this. Sure you will. The clip-clop of hooves here sounded much dustier than Ponyville. How else do you think we grew all them apple trees? She glanced at the thin, spidery trees edging on the field where she had been given as her own, branding me apple tart that had given her once to eat when she goes off the train as a welcome to Appaloosa gift. It had been an iron hard and dried out of her mouth. Goldie? Brayburn's voice wavered a little, his natural buoyancy not taking the word for all of it to its conclusion. Something wrong? Everything. Nothing. I should never have come here. Just be glad to be here. She gave him her best smile. Evidently her best wasn't good enough. He frowned at her. His eyes were soft with concern. Guilt blossomed in her like a water pipe stuck full of holes, or maybe that was something else inside her. Her body felt so strange these days, like she was trying on some pony else's skin, and it was a little too big for her. You ain't glad to be here, he said quietly. Yes, I am. She turned up the wedge on her smile. You're here? That was enough. It had to be enough. Yeah, he raised a hoof as if to place on her shoulder, but change as his mind was at the last moment. It hung between them, dangling uselessly. I am. He put the hoof back down. But you don't need to be. Not really. What? Panic ribboned through her. This ain't the right life for you, he sighed. I guess I kinda knew that, but I just hoped, well, I don't matter with what you hoped you ain't gonna be happy here. I could tell from the moment you set foot in this town that you weren't going to be happy. You ain't built for life on the plains. She hobbled towards him. "You're talking crazy." "No, I ain't," he interrupted. "Goldie, I told you right from the start that I couldn't leave this town. My family's here. I'm an apple. Apples built Appaloosa. It's my sweat, tears, and yeah, blood in these houses and fences. I spent the best years building this place up. And I told you I wouldn't make you leave it," she protested. "I know how important your family is to you." "Yes, it is." He closed his eyes. "Family's the most important thing in the world to me." Her eyes went starting to burn. She gulped back tears. "So you're sending me back to Ponyville? What if I refuse to go?" She stamped her forehoof. His eyes flew open. "Don't do that. I can do whatever I damn well please. Brayburn Apple, you don't get to tell me what to do." She lowered her head, as if to butt him like one of those buffaloes she had seen running the outskirts of town. "You don't make my decisions for me. I make them for myself, and you clearly don't get to send me away because I'm inconvenient." "You know what? That ain't it all. I'm trying to do what's best for you." "No, you're not. You're trying to do what's best for you." "Goldie, please. I'm thinking you're donkey dung," she yelled. Crow started ugly up from the tree line. "If you were trying to do what's best for me, you would have never slept with me in the first place." Like a useless hoof, silence dangled between them. Golden Harvest sank to her haunches. I. She was shocked at her own words. Had she meant to say that? Had she ever meant to think of? "I'm sorry." "No." Brayburn turned his face away, like he had been slapped. "You're right. I made a dang poor choices in the start." He blurred out a breath. "Things weren't meant to turn out this way." "No," she agreed, her voice now barefoot with emotion. "They weren't, but this is how things are. We agreed we'd try to do the right thing. Ain't this the right thing?" He gestured vaguely, his hoof taking in the pitted ground, trees, distant town, and all the mountains and valleys beyond. "You uprooting your whole life ain't coming here, leaving your home behind, putting yourself in some place that clearly makes you unhappy?" "Well, I thought it was," she admitted, "but I thought it was more like building a new life. A new life when you were happier with your old one." "Things change." "That they do," Rayburn granted. He rubbed at his face, knocking the brim of his hat with an accidental thunk nose. "I never should have drunk Cousin AJ's hard cider at her birthday party. Regrets don't help anything." "No, still got them though." She knew she got better than any pony. She regretted going outside with Applejack's handsome cousin to look up at the stars. She regretted letting him put his hooves around her. She regretted waking up the next morning and realizing she had crossed a line that she should never uncross. "You don't love me, Goldie," Rayburn murmured, so softly she could barely hear him. "You don't love me either." He hesitated before nodding. "So what are we doing with ourselves?" "We're doing the right thing." "And that is?" "I don't know. I never knew. I was just guessing from the other ponies and hoping some pony would tell me if it was right or wrong. Living with the consequences." He stared at her, stared with the intensity that would not abate if he was given 1,000 years to let soften or mold into something kinda and sure. It was almost obscene. Rayburn Apple was kind of sure stallion to his core. He cared about his loved ones. He did his best. He looked after those who needed it and never shrank from his responsibilities. He never once said no to her, never denied her. He had owned up, he had done his best in a bad situation, and he had tried to do the right thing. Golden Harvest felt the first tear roll down from her dusty cheek, and the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth, and all those that came after blended together until the fur on her face was sodden. "I want to go home. I am home. This isn't my home. I have to make it my home now." "Why? Why do I have to?" "Because he can't leave. Because his town needs him too much. Because it crumbled on its sheriff. I could move back to Ponyville. I could do this alone. Other mayors would do this alone. I'm scared to be alone. I want my mommy. I am..." Rayburn's kind forelegs crossed around her. He held her close and let her sob on with she ripped her raw against his shoulder. "Shh, shh, shh. Let it all out, darling," he whispered. It'll be okay. No, it won't. She cried harder, her swollen belly not letting him pull any more closer to him.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.